All right, today we're going to talk about something really interesting in education. It's a challenge, a kind of holy grail that's been just out of reach for decades. But now, a new technology might finally put it in our hands. The catch? It's probably going to have to break the classroom as we know it first. So, let's start with a wild idea. What if I told you that for the last 40 years, we've known a way to make the average student outperform 98% of their classmates? Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's totally real, based on a solid discovery. And yeah, this discovery, it has a name. It's been called education's impossible dream. The holy grail that teachers and researchers have been chasing for generations. It's called the two sigma problem. Way back in 1984, an educational psychologist named Benjamin Bloom figured out that one-on-one tutoring is basically a superpower for learning. But here's the catch, the big problem. Who can afford a personal tutor for every single student? It's just been way too expensive, way too impractical, so it's stayed a dream. Well, maybe until now. And this is where AI steps onto the stage. The promise, the big idea, is that AI could be that cheap, powerful, personal tutor for everyone. But, and this is a big but, before AI can build that amazing future, it's going to cause a massive earthquake in the system we have right now. And that earthquake? Well, it has a pretty dramatic name that you've probably already guessed. The homework apocalypse. Yeah, this is the first wave, the big disruption, and it taps right into the #1 fear of pretty much every teacher and parent out there. I mean, just think about all the classic homework assignments. Those long reading assignments, the ones that are supposed to make you really think and wrestle with the text. Poof, AI can summarize them in seconds. Okay, what about math problems or science? Look, if AI is already acing medical school exams and the bar exam, your kid's algebra homework, yeah, it doesn't stand a chance. Not a chance. And then there's the big one, the king of all homework, the essay, the one assignment that's supposed to show us how you think. Well, now it can be spit out in an instant. And honestly, the quality is getting scary good, and it's improving every single day. So the first thing everyone says is, okay, well, let's just build a better detector. We'll catch them. The problem is, the experts are all saying the same thing. It's not going to work. It's basically impossible. These detectors, they're unreliable with really high false positive rates. At the end of the day, the old model of sending work home, it's just broken. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty terrible, right? Like the sky is falling on education. But as scary as all this is, we have to take a deep breath and remember something really important. We have been here before. This is not the first time a new technology has totally freaked everyone out. Just think back to the 1970s when the calculator first showed up. The panic was almost exactly the same. Parents were freaking out. Teachers were worried. They said kids would get lazy, they'd forget how to do basic math, their brains would turn to mush. Sound familiar at all? They actually called it the calculator wars, and it shows us what could happen next. I mean, it took almost 20 years of arguing and adapting. But eventually, we got to what researchers call a practical consensus. We figured it out. We learned when to use them and when to put them away. And you know what? Math education didn't die. In a lot of ways, it actually got better. So, that's the key takeaway here. This doesn't have to be a story about destruction. We don't have to just sit here and watch the homework apocalypse unfold. We can do what we did before. We can adapt. We can actually start rebuilding the classroom for this new AI-powered world. So how do we actually do that? Well, one really cool idea is something called the flipped classroom, but this time it's supercharged by AI. Here's how it works. At home, students use their own personal AI tutor to learn the basics at their own speed. Then, when they come to class, the time with the actual human teacher isn't for lectures. It's for doing stuff, projects, debates, working together to solve real problems. And what's so cool is that this doesn't just change how kids learn, it completely changes what they can learn. Some professors are already on top of this, totally rethinking what an assignment even is. Check out this quote from a professor at Wharton. It's not about trying to stop cheating. It's about using AI to be ridiculously ambitious. And this just blows the doors off what students can do. We are not talking about book reports anymore. We're talking about students building a real working app with zero coding experience, or launching a website with original art and text. How about getting business advice from a simulation of Steve Jobs? Suddenly, the classroom becomes a place where the impossible is the new homework. But this is bigger than just making school more fun for some kids. This has the potential to solve that massive problem we started with, but not just for one classroom. We're talking on a global scale. Because let's be honest, right now, the global education system is in crisis. It's failing. A shocking 2/3 of all young people in the world don't have even basic skills. For decades, that solution, a personal tutor for every kid, was just a fantasy. It was that impossible dream. But an AI tutor? You can copy it 1 billion times and send it anywhere with an internet connection. It scales forever. And the stakes here, they're just astronomical. I saw one study that calculated that if we could actually close this education gap around the world, it would be worth 5 times the entire global GDP. 5 times! This is easily one of the biggest economic and social opportunities we have ever had. Which, brings us right back to the beginning, that 2 sigma problem. That impossible dream of a personal tutor for every single person. It's not a dream anymore. It's right here within our grasp. We finally have the tool. So the real question, the only question that matters now is, are we brave enough to get through the chaos to actually use it?